Mistakes are the portals of discovery. Life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. We learn from failure, not from success. Mistakes are the stepping stones to wisdom. We learn from trial and error. We become wise by understanding problems. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Don't be afraid you give up the good to go for the great. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. In every mistake, there is potential for growth. You build on failure, you use it as a stepping stone. Close the door on the past. You don't try to forget the mistakes, but you don't dwell on it. Life is about making an impact, not making an income. The biggest mistake you can make is to be afraid of making one. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Your best teacher is your last mistake. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to continually be afraid you will make one. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it. You make mistakes. Mistakes don't make you. Your past mistakes are meant to guide you, not define you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The biggest mistake people make in life is not trying to make a living at doing what they most enjoy. Mistakes are the growing pains of wisdom. The only way to grow is to learn from our mistakes and move forward. A mistake should be your teacher, not your attacker. A mistake is a lesson, not a loss. It is a temporary, necessary detour, not a dead end. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Sometimes it takes a good fall to really know where you stand. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing. An expert is a person who has made all the mistakes that can be made in a very narrow field. Life is short, and it's up to you to make it sweet. Mistakes are the usual bridge between inexperience and wisdom. One of the basic rules of the universe is that nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you nor I would exist. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Sometimes the wrong choices bring us to the right places. If you are not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. Life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. We do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on experience. To err is human, to forgive divine. The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Mistakes are the portals of discovery. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. The best way to predict your future is to create it.